Just like other brass instruments, tubas come in a variety of keys. There are 4 standard keys of tubas: B flat, C, E flat, and F. Just like with other brass instruments, the tuba's key is determined by the overall length of the bugle, in other words, the length of the tuba without including the tubing from the valves. This is a B flat tuba, which is the longest of all of the keys of tubas. It's the most common tuba that you'll find in bands and is what we start all beginners on. While some professionals do choose to play B flat tuba, a C tuba is far more common of professionals in the United States. This C tuba is a great example of how length and size are not always the same. This looks and is in fact larger than the B flat tuba shown previously, but it is in fact shorter in length. Pitch is only determined by the length of the instrument. Most collegiate players and professionals choose a C tuba as their primary tuba, but they may have other keys as well. Both C and B flat tubas are considered contrabass tubas as they are larger compared to bass tubas such as an F tuba. Most professionals will choose to play a bass tuba in addition to a contrabass tuba. In the United States, most professionals choose to play an F tuba for their bass tuba, although E flat is becoming more of a popular option. Both F and E flat tuba are great options for lighter orchestral repertoire as well as chamber music and solo settings. Let's debunk some common myths about keys of tubas. The first of which is that the amount of valves dictates the key of the instrument. While there are trends with how many valves each key may have, these 3 keys of tubas in front of me all have 5 valves. Another myth is that the bell or the bore size control what key of the tuba. The only factor that determines the key of the instrument is the length of the tubing. Another myth is that bass tubas can only play high notes and contrabass tubas can only play low notes. Even the shortest tuba, the F tuba, can still play lower than the piano. With a 5-valve F tuba, it's possible to play an F sharp off of the piano. This is lower than nearly all repertoire requires. Just like with other brass instruments, the limitation of high range is only from the player. This means that even on a B flat tuba, high range is possible with an experienced player. In the United States, nearly all beginners start on B flat tuba and continue on B flat tuba all throughout high school. Upon entering college, it is often suggested and sometimes even required that the student has to switch to C tuba. Many tuba players who plan on having a career in performing choose to add a bass tuba, either F or E flat, in college at some point. While the relationship between the keys of trumpets and keys of tubas is very similar, there's one key difference. When tuba players choose different keys of tubas, they still read concert pitch bass clef music. This means that each key of tuba requires different fingerings, but the music remains the same, with the only exception being British-style brass band music. This point can be slightly confusing as you would think that the B-flat tuba transposes a whole step just like B-flat trumpet. The B-flat refers to the fundamental pitch of the instrument and not a transposition. If you liked this video or found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and click the bell, as well as visit my website for low brass tutorials and other educational resources.